All right, so I finished the 50 miler. It's August 15th. I finished it in May 15th, so it was months ago. I never got around to making this video, blah, blah, blah. But I finished it, and it was actually easier than I expected because I thought it was going to be really, really hard. And it was really hard. It was, took me 14 hours and 19 minutes. There was about 10,000 feet of elevation gain. It was in the mountains in Vermont, so you're just going up and down the whole time. You do a 30-mile loop and then two 10-mile loops. And after the first loop, 40 miles in, we only had about 15 minutes to start the second final 10-mile lap, or else you were disqualified because the people doing the race, they don't want to be out there all freaking night. So, we started out for that last 10-mile loop at about right at 6 o'clock. That's when we were supposed to start. We told the race director, we'll go as fast as possible. The guy I was running it with, my buddy, he wasn't feeling good. He had poop stomach, you've just been running and eating all sorts of goos and shit, and then you just feel gross. And a lot of people dropped out. Only about 13 people finished out of 40. And I was kind of surprised by that because it wasn't, when you signed up for a 50 miler, like, what, if you got juice, just keep going. I don't know, I don't like quitting. But we ended up running with two other guys. One of them was going to quit, but then we were just like, yo, let's go. And so he jumped in. And then one of the other guys was an older guy who actually went and did the death race afterwards, which is basically Hell Week, Navy SEAL Hell Week for civilians, if you're into that type of thing. And when we finished, it was, it was good. Yeah, for some reason, I think the hiking helped actually, because I've been doing the weightlifting, and you're hiking up as opposed to just running on concrete and you're in the woods. I felt like it was just less impact. One of the marathons I ran, the Seattle Marathon, was actually harder because I trained for it, or I didn't train for it very well, and then I ran it like an idiot. My fastest mile in the Seattle Marathon was mile 19. So I was just booking at mile 19, running it with another friend, and we were getting a little carried away. And then the last six, it was mostly flat, and then the last 6 miles were all hills. So we hit that wall at about mile 20, which is just kind of what happens in a marathon, and then it was all hills, and really had to dig deep there. And I felt like for the 50 mile, I didn't really have to dig that deep. You just kind of keep going, and it was fun. But yeah, part of, as I've talked about in some of these other videos, is just like, I think that this, the reason why more people are doing these crazy races is it's like this spiritual revival thing. I feel weird even saying anything like that, but I just think about what Terence McKenna said about the archaic revival, and how he admired all these people who are doing these kind of strange things with and to their body, and how it's a desire just to get back to a real physical experience. And I think about evolution of humans, and how how people used to have to chase mastodons or whatever for miles just to eat, and running 50 miles might have just been something that you had to do just to get food to survive. And because I try to think of like where else, like where is this coming from, the desire for people to do crazy races? It's like, as I said, I like a challenge, but it's like, why do I feel the need to challenge myself? Why can't I just go about my day like a normal person? What is that about people that they need to challenge themselves? When we were doing the 50 mile, there was people that were finishing up a 200-mile race, or there was one person finishing up a 200-mile race. Everyone else dropped out. It was this woman, and she just was doing that 10-mile loop that we did, and they just did that for 200 miles. And I saw her time from mile 80 to mile 90. She did that faster than any of the 10-mile loops that we did. So she was fucking cooking it, which is just actually insane. I mean, I tell some people running 50 miles, they think that's nuts. And I guess it is. And then I look at someone running 200 miles and like, it's a fucking mental disorder. But then taking a step back and why people do this stuff at all, it's pretty strange. But then again, the whole life experience, if you really think about it, is pretty strange. And it makes me think of that quote, or that point, I think, from Kierkegaard, that we're going to get to a point where life is so easy that what we're going to want to desire is difficulty. And I think that's where we're at. I mean, I guess that's where I'm at. I'm going to go and run 50 miles. And now that I did it, I think I'm going to have to do the 100-miler at some point. So it was the Blood Root 50-mile ultra. Did it. Got the 50 miles under my belt. And, 100-miler at some point.